Usually it's the dogs that are causing me trauma when I'm trying to work. Trauma and drama. Trauma's probably not the right word, but whatever. But today, it's my girl Gracie. Now, I did take a short little video of her here on the floor. Why are you knocking everything off that shelf and then sitting on it? I do realize I need to put it up, but that's not where you're supposed to sit. There's a tray down there that I did have on a table. I'm actually just gonna get rid of the tray because I got a new one. Because this one, every time I lay a piece of paper in it, it collapses. Yeah. Oh, she's back. That's the shred bucket. I do realize I have a lot of shredding to do. Yeah, just don't judge that corner over there because it's a work in progress. Okay, alrighty. You happy? Let me lower this because, oh no, don't close it. Stay on page. I just wanted it out of the way. All right, so you see this area right here? Okay, so this is the edge of my desk right here. There's not much room there, okay? I have everything there as a barrier. All right, so I have it that way for a reason because of her, because there's on the other side there's this bench, right? And she'll jump on the bench and then she'll jump on my desk. Well, she wants to lay on my keyboard, which makes it a little hard to work when a 10-pound cat is laying on your keyboard. So I just try to keep it all like full of stuff so that she can't get up here. Except I guess there's this tiny little window between the bag and the computer screen that she just went for it. She came flying between that small little section. So my screen and the screen and the thing it's sitting on came flying this way. Everything over here, except for, thank God, the screen, everything went flying. My desk has these buttons so that I can stand up. My boss bought it for me because of my back issues, because I have trouble sitting still a long time. It's getting better, but it used to be I couldn't sit still for more than about 10 minutes or I'd be in horrific pain. Well, anyway, after she comes crashing onto my desk, I don't even know what it was, sat on one of those buttons, and as I'm like trying to do whatever and catch her, my desk is slowly rising up out of the ashes like the phoenix, except it was Gracie. And I caught her and I held her and I was like, I don't know how that didn't even hurt you because that's not that big of a space. She's asleep over here in the shredder bucket. Y'all just don't judge the state of my office, okay? It's in constant disrepair or something. I don't know. There's a guy on TikTok named Mario, and he says, Jesus be a, and then he adds whatever word to it that he needs. I said, Jesus be a Valium, because that's what I feel like I need right now, although I don't take Valium. I don't have Valium. I've never taken a Valium that I know of, unless it was for some pre-surgery thing. But Jesus calmed my nerves. That's a better way to put it, because, whoo, Lord have mercy. So that's how my day's starting. But the dogs are being good, so whatever. And this new time change is killing me. It's killing me. It's just killing me. I had a little container full of push pins. It went flying. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go back to work now, but I'm sure I'll be back later with more craziness from Tracy Tries Life, okay? Okay. Well, here we are. Back here again. Cold. Freezing. Trying to get my dogs to hurry. Why? Why do we have to go? Penny, honey, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't eat bird poop, okay? It's probably not good for you. I don't know. You know the things you say as a pet parent? Hi, come on, buddy. Come on, Pokey. The things you say as a pet parent, you just never imagined in your life that you would say. You know, like don't eat bird poop. Don't eat the worm. Don't roll in that. You know, just, you don't think about the, oh, my phone's ringing. Well, hi, here we are, end of the day. Well, I mean, it's not dark yet, but you know, end of the work day. I was gonna lie and say it got better. It got better with Gracie because she went outside and laid down. Yeah, she went outside and laid down, and she was just happy as punch out there for a few hours. I'd go check on her, and she'd just be laying out there in the sun. I was like, cool. Well, I wasn't really going to check on her as much as I was opening the door to let the dogs out. I was opening the door to let the dogs in. I was opening the door to let the dogs out. I was opening the door to let the dogs in. But that sounds way more organized than it was, because Penny would want out, so I would go open the door and let her out. And I would just stand there. I would close the door back because, you know, it's cold. And then wait. And here would come Poke Along, you know, moseying along because he has to go out with his sister. And then he would go out. And then I would go sit back down to work. And then he would bark. And I would get up and go open the door. And he would come in. And I would stand at the door staring at that one and say, come on, you need to come in. And finally she'd take off running in, and then I'd go sit back down to work, and then it would start all over again because they would hear something, you know, the dogs were out next door, something. So it was a whole lot of opening and closing the doors to let them in and out. Well, I decided, because I was feeling a tad bit stressed, that I would turn on a movie to listen to. I can't really watch it because I was actually working, but I went to Angel, what's it called? Angel Network? I don't know. Where they play The Chosen. I pulled it up on my computer and I played season 3, episode 1. Even though I had already watched it, I just turned it on to play again so I could listen to it because it was calming, right? Because I needed something calming to play. So anyway, I then have to use the restroom like you sometimes do, you know? I go walking out, you know, I finish up, wash my hands, do all the things, go walking back into my office. I've been waiting on a package from Amazon. So I go over to the front door, and thing 1 and thing 2 were outside. So he could have appeared, he or she, the Amazon person, could have appeared while I had stepped away, and I wouldn't know it because the barkers were outside. So I just go peek out the door to see if they had made a delivery, right? Well, about the time I get to the door and I'm looking outside, I hear from over here where my desk is, I heard someone say, "Excuse me." What? And then someone else started talking, and I was like, oh, for Pete's sake, it was the movie. It was the episode 1 that I was watching. Scared me to death. I had a million thoughts go through my mind of what I needed to do. in that exact moment to protect myself, right? I was going through all the things. It was that video. Excuse me. I was just like, well, at least they're polite. But what? What? How did they get in my house? Because all my doors are locked. I mean, even when I let the dogs out back, I lock the door. I mean, I slept with it open, but normally I lock my doors. So how did they get in? Y'all, for those few seconds before the next person spoke, I was like, what? I was trying to conjure up the muscle memories of what I needed to do. Do y'all know what muscle memory is? Muscle memory is when you already have a plan. You already played it out in your mind. It's really good to practice muscle memory. But go ahead and plan things out in your mind of if your house catches on fire, God forbid, and what you need to do. You can go ahead and think these thoughts out so you have a better idea of what you would do instead of just completely freaking out if you wake up and it's, whatever, your house is on fire or somebody's broken into your house or whatever. Try to plan them out in your mind so that you can be more aware, right? So you're not panicking. Okay, and in final news, well, one, I don't want to claim it. I'm not a name it and claim it, but I'm just saying that I feel like I'm getting a sinus infection because my face hurts and my head hurts a little bit, but I'm going to try to fight it off, okay? I'm going to try to fight it off, but yeah. If I disappear, you'll know why. It's because I won't disappear. I doubt I'll disappear. Yeah, I'll probably still make videos, even with a sinus infection. But anyway, I'm just saying. Okay, in final news tonight, the story I just read. A man was sitting in a Waffle House parking lot in Fayette County, Georgia. Here again, a Georgia story. I'm so proud. And he was smoking some wacky weed. Mary Jane. Marijuana. Yup. Devil's lettuce. Whatever you want to call it. He was smoking it in his car. Now, he didn't notice that not only was there a police car also in the parking lot. No, he didn't notice that. He also didn't notice that the police car had canine on the door, okay? Which means that canine is most likely trained to sniff out drugs. Yeah. So the police officer is none the wiser that the guy's sitting in his car smoking weed because they were a few cars apart or whatever. That dog, though, that dog knew. Yeah, he knew, and he was like, Dad, or Mom, I don't know. No, it was a man. It showed a dude cop. He was like, Dad, I smell dope. Come on. And he starts alerting. So Dad lets him out of the car. He runs to that car, and he sits. He's a good boy. He's sitting. He's like, Dad, it's here. So Dad walks over. I'm calling the cop Dad. So Dad walks over. And the guy in the car that was smoking the weed gets out of the car. And he's like, what you got going on? And he was like, well, didn't know you were here. My bad. Oh, by the way, I'm already dealing with a drug charge. Not only did he have a pending drug charge, but it was a pending distribution drug charge, which means he was basically selling it. Yeah, which means he had a lot. So, I don't know if you know this, but you have possession, and then you have possession with intent to distribute, which means a simple possession is less than an ounce. That's like a misdemeanor, right? And then you have more than an ounce to a certain amount is, could be felony possession. And then you have above that amount, and it's possession with intent to distribute, meaning you got enough that you're going to be selling it, and then it goes into trafficking. And yeah, so he's already saying, well, I've got a drug charge pending for distribution. So the police officer's like, I need to search your vehicle. And he's like, okay. Finds 144 grams. Which I don't know if that's enough for distribution or trafficking. I don't know how much that is. But it's a lot. It reminded me of a story of my mom. She wasn't distributing drugs though, but she got into a car wreck. It's just somebody pulled up behind her and hit her from the rear, and they call the police, and the police comes out. Was that it, or were they both pulled over? I think it was a wreck. Anyway, I think it was a wreck. So the police is there, and he asked my mom, do you have any tickets? Have you had any tickets? Have you had any wrecks? Whatever he asked her. And she was like, no, not lately or whatever. And he says, okay. So then he goes to the other lady, and he said, have you had any wrecks lately or tickets or whatever? And she said something like, this is the third wreck I've had in a month. My mom just, like, turned her head back to this girl and looked at the police officer, and he was like, third? And she said, yeah. She said, I guess I'm just not paying attention. And my mom looks at her again and looks at the cop. And she said the girl just kept going, and she said when the cop turned away, she was like, you need to shut up. Because she was just telling it all. But anyway, I thought that was funny. But yeah, that guy saying, well, I'm already out. Not that the cop couldn't know that quickly, because they can run a history to find that out. But just to go ahead and offer, you were sitting in your car smoking dope, and you've just admitted that you're already out on distribution charges. Yeah, that police officer's now going to be like, I've got a reason now to search your car. Yeah, you've given me reason. Not that the drug charge probably didn't give him reason, but I'm like, it was a canine. I mean, not all canines are drug dogs, but most of them are. Some canines are bomb dogs. Some canines are, for people, searching for people. But yeah, for the most part, they're drug dogs. They're trained to sniff it out. Yeah. So anyway, we had at the jail bloodhounds, and those bloodhounds were used to track people. And sometimes they were used, like if a child was missing, or we had a Maddie's call where an older person was missing, whatever, we would take the dogs out, or just a person was missing. Didn't matter, young or old. But most of the time, it was because they were chasing someone, and they had to get the dogs out to help find the person. So anyway, those dogs, they're amazing, amazing creatures at how they smell and follow that scent. They're just incredible dogs. But anyway, I just thought that was a funny story, because I was like, you big dummy. Just keep opening that mouth, Sometimes you need to wait till a question's asked before you just give too much information. Just saying. Just wait. But anyway, it kind of reminded me of Cheech and Chong back in the day. Y'all remember that? They had an album. Cheech and Chong had an album. And then, did they have a movie? Anyway, I just remember it when I was young. And of course, I didn't know what they were doing. I was so young that I didn't know what they were doing. And I just thought they smoked a lot. I was that young. Yeah. Because pretty much as soon as middle school got here, I knew what they were doing, because it started appearing. But I was so young that I thought they were just smoking. Speaking of smoking, I used to smoke. Back in the day, I used to smoke. I sure did. And I quit in my 30s. So I've been quit a good long time. Best thing I ever did was quit smoking. And every now and then I'll have dreams that I started smoking again. And I always wake up mad at myself because I started smoking again. But I just saw a picture. It was one of my memories on Facebook. And it's my friend Mitzi, and she's holding a giant mason jar tilted back, and I've got my hand on it too, and I'm drinking from the mason jar Can you imagine what was in the mason jar? It was moonshine. But that night, we were at a party out at this guy's house named Bubba. That sounds like quite a party, doesn't it? Bubba was one of our sergeants in Warrant Division, and he had this property way out in Carrollton, which is way out in West Georgia. And, you know, a bunch of us would go out there and karaoke. I sang. What did I sing? Hello, darling. Was that it? It's been a long time. Was that what I was singing? I can't even remember what I was singing. I'm pretty sure it was Conway Twitty, though. I think. It doesn't matter. Anyway. So they were passing around the moonshine, so I drank some of that. I had a ride. I wasn't driving. Matter of fact, Mitzi's husband drove. Tom was there, and Tom was smoking a cigar. I was 3 sheets to the wind, and Tom kept handing me his cigar. And he would say, hold this and keep it alive for me. And he'd go wandering off to do whatever. Sing, take a sip of moonshine. I don't know what he was doing. But I was smoking his cigar. I don't know why I was smoking his cigar, because I don't even like the smell of cigars. Now, I like the smell of a good pipe, but a cigar, no. But I was smoking it. Can I tell y'all how sick I was the next morning, waking up after drinking moonshine and smoking cigars? It was disgusting, let me tell you. My clothes were just disgusting. I had like the worst breath, even though I had brushed my teeth. It was just terrible. Anyway, that picture brought back all kinds of memories. I'm glad I don't drink anymore, because I don't miss those next mornings. You know what I'm saying? Because, anyway, that's all I've got for you. It's kind of a rambling all over the place video, but y'all are pretty used to that by now, I would say. But I hope y'all have a great night, and remember that I love you, and Jesus loves you, and I hope he's coming back soon, and I hope I don't get a sinus infection. I hope this is just a pre-warning, and that I can medicate it out of me before it goes full-blown. So anyway, I love you again, and Jesus loves you again, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. I don't know why I'm waving. Okay, bye. Bye.